Welcome to Romance Recs. We're three romance-obsessed besties sharing book recs broken down by genres and tropes, so you can be sure you're getting exactly what you want out of your next read. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Romance Recs Pod. Hi guys, this is Dev here. Hi.
Hey.
I'm actually reading too much to list right now, so I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Oh, you're just not even gonna.
I cannot tell you there's an audiobook, there is a Kindle book, and there's about to be a physical book.
Too much.
Too much.
And on that note, hello, I'm Jordan. I am reading Unexpected Delivery by Gillian West. You'll get to hear more about that in a later episode. Heads up. I just started reading an arc of Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. I got it.
What?
Yeah. And
wait, did you read the other ones?
This is her new series.
This is the new series. Oh, I'm so jealous.
So good.
Yeah.
But not really, because you'll get to listen to it eventually or read it. So really arcs are just like, anyways. And I am listening to, on Libby, Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu. I always pronounce it. Yeah. I finally picked it up, and I'm so mad I didn't start sooner. So, on that note, buckle up for some bookish banter because it's the two of us today.
Yes.
Once again, we hit a
bookish antics.
Yes, once again we hit a trope that was just not doing it for Christina. And also, she's on spring break right now when we had to record this, so she's doing family stuff. So, there's more to life than just romance books, apparently.
Right. Who knew?
Not me.
So you only got two bookish besties talking to you today. Mm-hmm. But we do have a genre today that we are so excited to talk to you about. And it's right on time for tax day. You know why?
Yeah. Did you pay your taxes?
I did. Oh, I pay my taxes. I can't wait for somebody else to be paying them for me. Okay. I need somebody else to be handling the finances. Mm-hmm. And any one of these MMCs can.
Mm-hmm. But they don't, because they're in a certain tax bracket and they do not have to pay as much taxes.
Is that how it works?
They do not. Well, I mean, that's the big thing right now, right? Because we're talking about what group?
Billionaires. Woo!
Billionaires. The only kind of billionaire I appreciate.
Yeah. Honestly,
fictional.
Yeah, I like my billionaires fake and written by women. Like that's honestly, I haven't met a one that I enjoy in real life. I also haven't met any billionaires. So
I was just gonna say
control group. It's a very tiny control group, but
to be fair,
you get.
I don't want to meet them. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. I want to meet a good one. I
don't think there is such thing as a morally good billionaire.
There has to be. There are billionaire women. I am putting faith in our speech. You know what? Let me take that back. Because because 92%. So I'm going to stop right there. You're right.
Don't make me look things up. Do not make me whip out Google right now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop.
There's probably people screaming at this podcast right now. I bet Glenn is listening, and Glenn is like, Dev, and then she wants to list things. Can I just imagine Glenn is on?
Yeah. No, fuck the patriarchy. That's what Glenn is yelling. Anyway, Glenn, if you're listening, you might not, because I'm about to foam, drool over these MMCs and maybe some billionaire FMCs. You never know. It's a mixed bag.
I'll tolerate it.
Yeah, because this is how I roll. I love me a good billionaire. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am actually really excited about this trope genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both. I do have a quote from one of my recs for today. So this is from Endless by Devin Sinclair. Because each of us knows what it's like to go through something alone and desperately needs someone to be there with you, especially if someone is going to judge you. The fear climbs up your spine and your throat, and it feels like your lungs are so full of rocks you can't take a full breath. and all you want is someone to stand in that space with you. I know. It's so
I love
good.
that.
Yeah,
I really do
just to
love that. That's
stand
actually
with
so
you.
sweet.
Just to be there
Yeah.
in your space.
You
Ugh.
know, that's really sweet. I wasn't going to read a quote, but then I started thinking about what my first book, that my first rec that I have for you guys is going to be. And this book is so quotable. And I didn't even think to pull a quote from this book. There's so many things about I love about it. So I'm going to try to find one, but I'm not going to tell you what book it's from.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to read this one that popped up. This is not the one I wanted, but this is the MMC to his FMC. You forfeited your rights the moment you became my fiance. Careful, Declan. Your misogyny is showing. I really
Mm-hmm.
like that. I really like
Mm-hmm.
that because this FMC, when I tell you this billionaire is putty in her hands, yeah, she gets him down to the bone. So that's a little sneak peek. What's to come, and I'll let you guys know more about that when I let you know what my first rec is going to be.
Oh, love that. Okay. Well, I'll go first then, so you don't have to give that away. Add a little suspense for
I know.
yours.
Everyone's like Declan,
What
because that
is
name
it?
I'm sure is in a bunch of billionaire,
Mhm.
but it's not like a so I'm sure y'all are probably thinking, what
Declan
book
is
is that?
a very old money
Popular.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my first rec will be Endless by Devin Sinclair, the quote I just read from. Okay. This is Omegaverse. This is, I think I mentioned it in another episode in maybe our Why Choose episode, but I didn't give details on it. I know I wrecked the second book in the Clarity Coast Omegaverse, which is priceless. But Endless is the first book in the series. They're interconnected standalones. Okay. This girl, she finds out that he had been having an affair with his
Uh-huh.
secretary when
Not the
he dumps
secretary.
her.
Mm-hmm.
So he dumped her out of the blue, kicked her out of their house after 4 years. Okay. And so and he makes it seem like this is all her fault. She's, not exciting enough, not this, not that.
Okay.
She moves, never wants to see him again, but same circles. So she has to go back to town for her sister's wedding. And her ex is the best man, because of course.
Right.
And that's actually how her sister and her fiance met, was through them, because he was
Oh
a friend
wow.
of her
Okay.
ex's.
Yeah.
Right? So she doesn't want to show up alone. She's just kind of been wandering aimlessly, working really hard, but has made work her whole life. And she doesn't really have anything else to show for it, which I want to say a career is commendable. And if that's what you have to show for yourself, that's just what I have to show. I just want to say that to all
Right.
the women working right now. You
Mm-hmm.
can fucking get it. So be proud of yourself. Anywho, so she hires a pack of male escorts. These are extremely high end male escorts, okay? She finds out about them through her friend who is a reporter who who wrote up a whole article on them, but it was she had to sign NDAs. She didn't mention their names, their faces. They are not they're secret, right?
Yeah.
And so she breaches confidentiality and you need to bring this pack. They are so cool. Just bring them. They're professionals. They'll do this for you. They do weekends with women. They do this. So she's of course feeling nervous, but she meets them. And in this world, alphas can't, because this is Omegaverse, people. Alphas can tell when an Omega is their scent match, when they meet. And she is, and they're like, fuck, this isn't a job. We can't take her money. But they continue to go through the weekend with her. And it's just, I don't want to give too much away, but holy shit. And then you find out that they are actually super successful. And one of them is this really popular musician. And they are super wealthy. We find out later, I don't want to give all like what they all do away, but they all have their own stuff. They kind of just do this as like a side, almost like a side hustle because they enjoy like helping omegas. Is it basically where this
Okay.
came from? But it's wild and it's so
Wait,
good.
so is she a billionaire too? Because how can she afford them, or do they just not charge?
Her
Mm,
family is
mm, mm-hmm,
definitely old money. She
mm-hmm.
doesn't have a lot. I think she kind of gave some of that up, and but she has. I don't remember the exact bank account details, but
It's mostly them. They're the purse strings.
well,
They're
yeah,
the ones coming.
everybody's loaded. Everyone's
Yeah.
loaded. And it's just so good. Like this pack is the whole time they don't want to scare her off. So she has to find out on her own when she goes into heat, but she doesn't. And it's just like all of this stuff. And she's like, this is not about, we're not doing sex. I'm not paying you for that. But then what she does, and there's like all of that. And they just the whole time are having to bite their tongues and be like, we're not taking her money. We can't. There's no way. But then she thinks it's just wild. It's so fun. It's like a classic trope of bring an escort with you
Right.
to a wedding or a funeral or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then you end up falling in love. But it's so much more fun because there's the added Omega verse
Right. It's like multiple
drama.
escorts.
Yeah.
I love
Mm.
that. I really hated that you said this started because her fiance or boyfriend or whatever was cheating on her with the secretary. Because I am about to introduce my first rec,
Oh,
which actually is a secretary to Billionaire Romance. So I'm so sorry. There's no cheating involved. It's
love it
arranged
though.
marriage or marriage of convenience,
Perfect.
I should say, not arranged. But the book is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. And I know some of my listeners,
Yes.
I know y'all are probably like, oh yeah, love that. Because this is like the best book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. It is book
Absolutely.
2. It is the best one. Declan and Iris, when I tell you
Oh.
the passion, they're just so compatible. And my favorite thing
Oh.
is Declan is like the big brother, right? He's the one like getting everybody in gear and taking care of things and making sure things are people are doing what they're supposed to do. But what are you to do when your grandfather gives all of his grandsons an inheritance clause where you guys have to do these things to basically remain billionaires? And for Declan, everyone, I feel honestly, the other two brothers, they got it easy. They did not have to get married. They had their own tasks. Declan had to
Mm.
not only get married, but also have a baby within the first year. I think that was his clause, which is so psychotic because like
Diabolical.
it is diabolical. But in this world where like in the normal world you're like, it's the modern times, my love, we're not doing this. In this world, like, money is money. We've got money on the table. If you do this for me, you're going to be very wealthy. And also Iris kind of wanted a kid already, so it's like, all right, I'd
Uh,
marry this man. What happened?
no, I was just gonna say, I don't know how the other half lives. Maybe this does happen.
True. This is probably, you know
Like
what, I
old
feel like
school
this is
money, grandpa
very
wants make
very
sure.
normal.
Yeah.
I this is probably very, and also to keep like the bloodlines something. I feel like they're doing this. Yeah. Ugh. My favorite things about, for me, what makes a billionaire romance a really good one is how sappy, how down bad, how
Yeah.
the billionaire becomes when it's anything to do with their like person.
Mhm.
Declan, once he really got into the groove of it, of like them doing this fake romance, which by the way, it wasn't originally supposed to be Iris. He had a plan and then that fell through. And Iris was like, you know what, let's do it, because she's his assistant and her job is to get things done. And she's whatever, I'll do it. Let's move on. I know you, like I've known you for years. Let's figure this out. We can do it. This is a job. I am doing a job. But when he gets into
And
his
she
my
does
wife
it.
era, yeah, I love them. Of course, there are rocky times because at the beginning, it's fake, it's planned. And Declan is like this hardcore billionaire businessman, so he misses a lot. Iris is like just living her dream, like doing things she wants to do, working, writing. But there is actually, I don't want to give this away. I was going to tell you guys something. There is something Declan does at the very beginning of Iris working for him that makes her job easier that he makes it a company-wide thing. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes it a company-wide thing once he notices something about her without a second thought. And when I tell you, that made me melt because it's something that she's really affected by, and he sees it once, and literally, like the next day, he's, "Hey, everybody, we're doing this way," and he never says why. He changes his thing. He doesn't say why. She later on finds out, and it's the sweetest thing. So I really love them together. Of course, I love me a black girl from infinity to infinity. So Iris is a beautiful black woman. And I just love watching black women be loved out loud and also with a lot of money. So
And given all the
um
resources
yeah, stack that up. Everything, I love to see it.
and having
But yeah, Lauren
babies.
Asher, right. And then I know, and then they have the baby. It's really sweet. And especially Lauren Asher has this way of melting her series together. This is her second series. And then she also has a third one out that I'm really enjoying as well. Definitely has Billionaires in it, but I don't have a rec from that series. It's the Lakefront Billionaires series. But you see a lot of characters from her series pop in and out of the other series. And so that's really fun to read if you're kind of in the Lauren Asher universe. But yeah, that's my first rec. I think everyone should read that. If you're looking for just nice romance, a little bit of drama, suspense, spice. Yeah. Get into terms and
Definitely.
conditions for sure.
I love that you do a classic billionaire because I'm going to turn around and do completely wild The Wrong Bride by Gina Showalter and Jill Monroe. Okay, so picture this. It's a school teacher from Oklahoma vacationing in Scotland. It's her dream vacation. She went by herself. She saw the Scottish Highlands. She's been dreaming of marrying a Scottish man in a kilt her entire life. Imagine this little Oklahoma girl with men in kilts on her wall, okay? Her name is Elizabeth Darcy, or Elle. Yes, Pride and Prejudice.
Interesting.
Okay, there may be some correlations between this story and that. So, she's at the end of her trip. She's walking down a road. It's raining, of course. I'm going to stop at a pub before I go, to the airport. I have 1 hour left. And she sits down to get out of the rain, right? As you do. And this stunning woman walks over to her and strikes up a conversation. She sits there with her, booze and talks to Elle, which people call, instead of Elizabeth, she goes by Elle. She has her cranberry juice and they're just talking and she's asking her questions about her life. Like, also, why are you telling this strange woman about your life? I don't know, but you are. Like, you're talking, like, she's asking very pointed questions and then all of a sudden everything goes black. It's a body swap. It is a motherfucking body swap, people. She wakes up in a wedding dress. Elle does.
What the hell?
Looks in a place she's never been. She doesn't feel right. She looks in the mirror and it's the face and body of the woman she was talking to in the restaurant. She literally Freaky Friday'd this bitch on purpose.
What?
And she is now living and the night before married Callan Bruce. Let me tell you.
Okay, that's a strong name though.
Callan Bruce and enigmatic. I don't even know how to say. I hate that word. Enigmatic. It gets stuck in my mouth. Billionaire. A Scottish billionaire. Okay. And that he runs an elite empire. Okay. But behind his public persona, he is a king. What kind of king? A berserker king. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. He's a motherfucking berserker. I know he's a billionaire and she lives a billionaire life in this Scottish castle. Okay. All this wealth. All of a sudden she has this. She used to be this poor little, rural Oklahoma girl. And Now she's in a world they're at war with shapeshifters, but it's not known to the world. So at first she's, what do you mean? She hears the term berserker. And so she calls her old phone, and the girl that like body swapped with her, right? Is, you're not going to fuck this up for me. I'm going to break your mother's heart if you do. I need to get away. I didn't want to marry him, blah, blah, blah. So the girl that she swapped bodies with had to marry him because of, I don't really want to say, like it has to do with their lore, right? The berserker lore. But she had just cheated on her betrothed with his brother and forced them into a duel to the death. Like, she caused a whole bunch of shit and then dipped. So he thinks that Elle is this other girl, and she's, no, it's not. He's like, well, body swapping is legal. Like, I'd have to kill both of you if you. It's this whole thing, but all the meanwhile, she has all these resources, but he won't give her the money. So she's trying to get him to trust her, and so she can get the black card. And then he takes her shopping adventure. It's just like broody and Scottish. I really recommend listening to this one because the accents
are so good.
Well, and it's so funny because the woman she did a body swap with did her homework. She would randomly change accents, so everyone thought she was just being a bitch and like trying to like annoy everyone. So when Elle comes in and is in her body and she's just talking like an Oklahoman American, he's like, could you knock it off? This is your worst accent yet. I fucking hate this American accent. She's, I don't know anything else. But it still fits the character. So like when I tell you they like crossed the T and dotted the I's, it's so funny. But also pretty serious.
So funny.
It's just so good. And still billionaire romance. So
right. Yeah.
Enjoy that. Locked in a Scottish castle.
Yeah.
In modern times.
I actually love that.
In modern times. This is not old. This is now. So
that's actually super interesting. I feel like I'd have fun reading that. It sounds like a fun read. Like you just like giggling and kicking your feet.
And I loved the berserker. You don't see enough berserkers. So for those of you who don't, I haven't even talked about it. For those of you who don't know, a berserker is like old school, almost, I mean, there was a lot in Viking mythology, but like where when they go into battle, they go into a blind rage and they will just kill anything around them. They grow to superhuman size and strength. And so he thinks his wife, his mate, is supposed to be able to calm him. So then there's that whole element. And it's just so cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was so fun.
No, I love me a good berserker story.
Hot. In a kilt. Berserker in a kilt.
Yeah, right. Berserker in a kilt is crazy. Okay, my next rec might be a little controversial. Just because it's a series. And I don't know if I've seen this author on like people's no, we don't want to read you list. So if she is, I'm sorry, okay? I read these were like my entry into like Billionaire Romance. I would say I read these years ago, but I always think of this series, and it is the This Man series by Jodi Ellen Malpas. And this series, I don't know, like I said, it was my first intro into this type of billionaire romance where like I started with Harlequin and those kinds of stories, which always has that kind of element. But this was like modern. They were in London, I think, or in England somewhere in this story. But it follows Jessie Ward and Ava O'Shea. Ava O'Shea is an interior designer, and she has been tasked with redecorating some things in the manor. The manor is Jessie Ward's building. It's like a little invite-only club, little boys club. What Ava doesn't know is it's also a schmex club, okay?
Ooh.
So she walks in, she meets Jessie for the first time, and she is hypnotized, but there's something about her saying, run, like, there's something he's giving off that's not giving, oh my God, I want to melt at your feet. It's giving, oh, this might be bad for me. So she runs
Okay.
pretty much. She like tries to avoid him, tries to figure out how she can do this job without interacting with him, without seeing him or feeling these feelings she has for him because she's very into him too. And when he gets like a stick up his ass about Ava, he becomes obsessed. I would definitely say that he becomes like unhealthily obsessed with her. Everything about her. He needs her, he wants her. It's obviously it ends it's the happy ever after, right? They fall in love, yada yada yada. But he is a very wealthy man and he will use those resources to show his obsession. And I'm telling you, that's what I love the money spending. In a billionaire romance, I want you to spend the money and I want to see what the groveling is looking like when you're coming to spend the money. When you're wooing, I need the money to show up. Like when you're a billionaire, it's all about the pockets. How deep are they? What are you doing? What are the acts of service here? Because it all has to do with the money in these stories. So yeah, he wastes no expense. If money needs to be spent, he's spending it like on her easily with no second thought. But with all that being said, there is this darker like I want to say psychological thing, but there's something deep and dark in Jesse's past that he's like pushing away, trying to hide, trying not to like have Ava see it. Because I think even at the beginning, he doesn't want her to know that it's a sex club. So she eventually finds out. So he like basically tells her she's redecorating this
Naughty,
room to
naughty.
do that. Yeah, and there are other things in his past that he doesn't want to share, things that he's not proud of. It's all trauma based. Like it's a lot of things that have happened and he's, working through it and whatnot. But the relationship between them two is just so funny because Jesse has never heard the word no in his life and Ava says it to him repeatedly. So you know how they get when they
Good.
don't get what they want.
Good for her.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, she folds a lot. I definitely remember yelling, "Stand up, girl." No, you said no already. Walk away. So there were some moments where I
Mm.
was like, oh my God, she's giving me a headache. But there were more moments when I was like, good for you. Like I was shocked at some of the things she would do. Tell him no and stay home. Tell him, oh, I can't come. I got to stay home. Things like that. So
Okay.
yeah, I liked it. I think it's a fun read. And there's got to be 8, 9, 10 books in this series. Really and truly, there's only 5 or 6, and it follows Ava and Jesse. And it's crazy that their story alone could churn out so many books, but I read all of the books and it all made sense. You got a lot of cliffhangers that were kind of like shitty, but yeah, but there were a lot. There are spin-offs to their series. So most of it, I think it's if it's POV or like you get Jesse too, but like a lot of it is like her characters going through these things and then you get Jesse. But
Mm-hmm.
I think there are 1 or 2 books that are retold specifically from Jesse's POV, which gives
Oh,
you a lot of insight into his brain and like all the things he was working through, it was nice to read that. But yeah, so if you're looking for a series that you can just binge, I honestly think this is a heavy contender for sure.
okay. I see that's where I have a problem with a lot of billionaire romances. I can't stand when the men never quite feels like the respect level is there and they really just
Hmm.
buy the loyalty and affection or buy their way out of everything.
Hmm.
And the women constantly are making excuses for them and
Hmm.
folding. I just have
Yeah.
no patience for that because listen, Megan March has a lot of stuff. Okay. And I actually read a few Megan March, but like I read some billionaires of hers and I was just like, that's what I couldn't keep
Get
going.
her.
And it even
Yeah.
technically ended on a cliffhanger. But I'm like, yeah, it ended with spoiler alert. It ended with her leaving him and running away because he stayed in a meeting too late after a bunch of other stuff, right? And I'm like, good. I'm gonna not read the second book and pretend that she actually left him and this is how it ends. Because this is how it should end. He does not deserve her. Like he is
Yeah.
literally keeps trying to buy her attention. And I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
you, dude. There's
I
no
don't
other
like that
redeeming
either.
qualities for you right
Hmm.
now. And so that's I get into billionaire romances and I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Like,
Yeah, I
what's gonna
definitely
go
need
on?
the FMC to be feisty and to put them like I need it to be
Mhm.
very much your money is not all that. Like
Mhm.
you're actually not all that.
And if
Okay.
she's a softer FMC, she needs to know her worth.
Right.
Or she
right.
needs to find her voice in some way. But yeah, I'm just like, when there's that big of a different like power imbalance, like just gotta see it.
Yeah.
Gotta see them taken down. Anyways, that's my rant today. My feminist rant. So I'll just do a quick off to the races. Okay. Dev is cringing. Okay. Everyone loves Elsie. Everyone loves
I
Elsie
love
Silver.
Elsie.
Okay.
I am an Elsie
We
stan.
stan her, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't come for us. This was my first Elsie Silver book, and I just listened to it, okay? It just became available on Libby. Everything is so long on the waitlist. It's a billionaire romance, bitches. Is it her best writing? I can already tell. This is like one of her first books, and I could tell. It is well written. It's a good one because the way they meet is fucking hilarious. So it starts out really funny, okay? You just have to follow. You should not read this book if you want the best romance you've ever read, but it is an entertaining book, okay? And I think it's because the MMC shoves his foot in his mouth so many times in kind of a sexist way. Not even.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's where I didn't
Yeah.
feel like he redeemed himself enough.
Mm-hmm.
She goes by Billy. Okay. Obviously, most people will assume that is a man. She works with horses. Okay, she's a horse trainer. And Vaughn just took over his grandpa's ranch. Okay, they raise race horses. And someone that's helping him run the ranch recommended Billy. He did not catch that it was a woman. But his mom has also been trying to set him up with women and has literally been sending women to him. And she gets out of the car and he is at his last thread. Okay. So he goes off. He walks over. He's like, just turn around, get your ass back in the car and tell her I don't want anything to do with this. And she's like, excuse me? And so he makes an ass of himself even more and says things. And she just, and I do love Billy. I love this character. She made the book. Okay. And she's mouthy. And she just gives it right back. She's, oh, okay. And who the fuck do you think I am? So they have this back and forth, and it's not clicking for him. It's just not. And she doesn't give him any.
Right. Just let him keep digging.
So she turns around and walks into his manager, and he's like, Billy, you're here. And he's like, what the fuck? She's, you could have asked for my name. But you never even asked what my name was. Wilhelmina. Nice to meet you. I mean, it just was so perfect. And so that kind of set the scene for it to be an enemies to lovers. But he is a billionaire. She comes from, her dad was a prime minister. Like, she was raised in that world, but she's on her own now. And she cut herself off. And he's got money. He runs a ranch. Everybody's got money. So much money. I mean, you can buy her a horse worth millions of dollars just because she loves it. And I love that for them. So it's a controversial one that I was going to do a really short thing of, and I did a long one. So there you go.
Yeah. I know. And I mean, like, I love Elsie Silver. Like, when everything about her books just bring me so much joy. And to be fair, I could put her whole Rose Hill series on the billionaire thing, but I thought I'd control myself. But
not again.
No, right. The first series is, you gotta. She makes you work for it.
Well, so it's early writing too. I actually like.
Right, and
I like reading that. I like seeing the progression.
Because you can tell. Because right now, book 3 in the Rose Hill, like, Elsie's in her bag. She is writing what I need to read. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, I love that you wrecked an Elsie Silver book because I do love her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next rec is actually going to be a brief little thing because I have a sneaking suspicion that I have already spoken about this book on the podcast, but I cannot remember for the life of me.
It's been hundreds of recs at this point. So
yeah, I'm so sorry if I've already wrecked this, but it is Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. This story follows Janelle Cross and Rome Martin. And to be very clear and transparent, I am not sure if the word billionaire has ever been used in regards to Rome, we know he's very wealthy. I don't know if he's a billionaire. I don't know if that was like specifically used. I can't remember, but he does billionaire things. Okay. He does billionaire things. And in my eyes, that makes him a billionaire. Anyway, let me set the scene.
Please.
Janelle and Rome are in Tulum. Janelle and Rome are in Tulum. They are parts of a friend group that are there for a wedding. Who's getting married, you ask? Janelle's sister, Amory. Amory? I think that's her name. Yeah. Who's Amory marrying? Janelle's ex. So it's definitely one of those. And Janelle is still the maid of honor.
This is wild to me. Just wild. And I know this happens in real life, and that's even more wild.
I've read so many books with this specific thing. It like grinds my gears. But
I'm out.
Janelle is here.
I'd be out so
like,
fast.
Miss me. Yeah.
Or I'd go and...
Right.
I would cause some...
So that's the thing. Janelle is like constantly telling her family, guys, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. Peace to him. Let peace be with them. Like, we weren't compatible. I'm happy that they are. But like everyone sees Janelle as being like bitter and like upset about it when she's not. She's just trying to distance herself and not have to see it everywhere. Because it is kind of weird when your ex and your sister start a relationship and then get married. That's very strange. That's not normal
thinking
behavior.
About it. I'd punch him.
It's just so bad.
Right in the throat.
Part about it, yeah, her sister is actually the biggest bitch, and I was blaming it on bridezilla-ness. Right. I was like, oh my gosh, she's just a bridezilla, right? But no, she's very vindictive. She's definitely the baby of the family, gets what she wants, and so that attitude plays out a lot. Janelle is and something Janelle has to learn is how to say fucking no, how to prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
By the end of the book, I think she starts to get that with the help of our main man, Rome.
Yep. Save your peace. Protect your peace.
Rome. What can I say about Rome? Not too much on Rome. I'm not going to say too much on Rome. The book is called Only for the Week because they're in Tulum for a week. So what happens in Tulum stays in Tulum. Rome and Janelle decide that while they're there, they're going to get a little frisky. Again, they are part of the same friend group. And I really do think Natasha needs to write a book for every single friend group because when you read this book, you can see the other relationships that could possibly be happening. And I would love to read about those. But yeah, they're all part of the same friend group. They know each other. Rome is also Arnold, I think that's Janelle's ex, best friend. So they've come in contact before, right? They've always, and Rome has been secretly pining because from jump, he knew that Janelle's ex did not deserve her. But he was just there like, yeah, tried to avoid her, didn't want to come around her. So Janelle thought Rome hated her because he was just in his feelings. He was like, I can't feel like this about my best friend's girl. I wish he would have acted on it and saved her the peace.
Listen,
anyway.
Here, this is so common. Men, why are you friends with men that you feel this way about? This is a pet peeve of mine. Men will just be out here. Oh yeah, he's an asshole to women.
But y'all are still like, boys.
He cheats on his girls all the time and he treats them like shit. And I know he's manipulative, but he's my boy. Fuck that noise.
Right.
Like, then I don't want to be with you either. Like,
right. Like, why are you letting it slide?
Anyway, sorry.
I know.
But Rome is great.
Rome is great. I was about to say not too much on Rome again. We gonna forgive Rome, okay? He's doing his best. But yeah, so the entire trip in Tulum, it's just the way Natasha writes, there's specific scenes that she writes, like off top, I'm thinking about the club scene where she writes and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so vivid. You feel like, I've never been to Tulum, but I feel like I have felt that party scene. There are things that Rome says, and I'm like, oh my gosh, in public? Why would you say this to me in public? And he's talking to Janelle, he's not talking to me. But there's just, there's some stuff he said. I'm just going to give y'all one, please. If y'all don't listen to anything else I'm saying about this book, listen to this line. Janelle asks Rome how his drink tastes. And he responds by saying something to the effect of, it would taste a little better with you in it or something. Or it would taste a little better if I had you on my tongue. So to the effect of saying, it would taste better if I had just finished eating you out or something. That's what he's saying to her. Just out in the, and I'm like, interesting. I didn't know that was flirting. I think I like it.
This is doing things for me that
I was unaware I enjoyed.
Need to read that again, play it back.
Yeah.
Tell me think about this.
It was just so, there are a lot of moments like that. And you don't really see Rome's money come into play until towards the end of the trip. He does something for Janelle that honestly, every reader in their life would love. Every reader on
Oh,
would eat this up, and I'm not going to give it away, but it's like he does it, and I'm like, wow, because number one, it shows how much money he has. Okay, but number two, it shows that he's been paying attention to her in a way that no one else has. He just saw something about her and he was like, I'm going to give her a solution. I'm going to make sure she prioritizes
oh,
herself, which is honestly that's what I love about Billionaire Romance is when they do something and it's just like second nature. Like they're just going to do it and whatever. Yeah. And then you get a little happy ever after, of course. But I really, and of course, black people, black on black,
and
love
of
that.
course, black people.
Yeah.
You're just, I love that they said that. And of course, black people.
That's an added bonus, I love it. I love it when I get to read black love like that. Again, especially when the black
Me too.
love, surrounds a black woman who's getting her money spent on her and getting her little whims. And the other thing is Janelle doesn't need his money. She's actually very successful. Let's
Right, I
be
love
fair.
that.
She is very successful and she's in medical. I can't remember
See,
if she's a doctor
that's
or
what I love to see.
OBGYN. Yeah.
I love
So
to
she
see.
already she's doing her thing, but it's just really nice. It was really nice to read and it's fun. It's very short, so you could totally read this quickly. But yeah, Natasha, give us the rest of the crew, please. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Last one I'll mention for mine, and I think I don't think it's the same series, but it's by Sarah Kate.
Yeah.
So Keep Me.
I've read a lot of Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep Me. It's number 1 in the Sinful Manor series. This is the latest one. I had to listen to an ALC of this. And whew.
Hot.
Okay. Again, I'm going back to Scotland. So apparently I like my billionaires Scottish.
Scottish.
Ooh, I got some people mad about that one. So this is A Marriage of Convenience. He is a billionaire who refuses to leave his tower. So Sylvie Devereaux.
Oh,
she's a New Yorker.
Love Devereaux.
She's super tough. She's a daughter of very famous parents, but they're super neglectful as super famous rich people are. But I mean, she's used to it. She doesn't give a shit, at least on the outside. And so she's there with her boyfriend, fiance, I forget him at this point because he's so far gone, in Scotland. And she is also kind of nerdy. She wants to sneak into Berkeley Manor, okay, to get a glimpse of a family heirloom. It's just a really weird thing. So she sneaks in, not realizing that it's like privately owned and someone is actually living there. And she runs in to this big Highlander brute of a man and she gets caught, right? And they have this altercation full of angst and hate. Sexy. And so then she leaves. She has her own money problems, right? Because her parents cut her off because she doesn't do what they want her to do and all this stuff. So she is in trouble financially. How is she going to live without money? Because she needs money. Her parents are artists. That's where it comes from. And they want her to live a certain lifestyle and she doesn't want to. So they cut her off, all this stuff. A few weeks later, she is approached in her home by Killian's family. Killian Barclay is the man who lives in the manor. And they have a proposal for her. They want her to move to Scotland and marry him to improve his Playboy reputation. And after 1 year, if she stays with him for 1 year, no like big scandal, like if she can help them, she'll get $10 million.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm doing it. Sign me up. Does the plane take off tonight? All right.
Yeah. So Sylvie agrees because I need money. And they want her because they heard the story of her breaking in, but her like up to him. And they're like, we don't know anyone that could deal with his bullshit.
I was wondering how they even found her. Okay.
Yeah, it's still super weird, but
we'll lean into it.
So she knows that it's more deceptive than he realizes because they think like he does it for his own reasons. They say there's this big family shit, I guess. But of course she grows closer to him. like the longer the year goes on. And he's got his own demons. He's working through a lot of trauma and stuff. Like when I tell you he's agoraphobic, so he does not leave his mansion. But his mansion is also known. It's called the Sinful Manor series for a reason. He throws ragers. He throws sex parties in this manor. He and his friends are known to just get wild. So because he doesn't go anywhere, and his friend, like, it all comes to him.
He brings everything to him.
Everything comes to him.
Not you being an agoraphobe, but also needing to be like surrounded by people. Like,
Well, something happened when he left. So he just can't. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
And then there's things, they both have the things that they need to work through. And the whole time I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, there's BDSM. There is a sex party involved, obviously.
We love that.
Oh, there's jealousy. I mean, there's everything. And by the end, though, I didn't think I was as invested as I was. And by the end, I was sobbing. I cried.
Really?
Yes. And that's what made this book for me. So
yeah.
I didn't realize I was that invested until it was too late.
Yeah, right. The tears were streaming.
I know.
You're thinking this was like a 3.5,
I'm
4.
so happy for them.
Big.
They've been through so much.
Yeah. I love that. Sarah's writing, honestly, like she wrote one of my favorite books of all time, and that is Give Me More in the Salacious Players Club. When I tell you, something about that book made me cry. I laughed. It's a throuple, eventually a throuple. It's really two married people and their friend. But yeah, Give Me More. I really enjoyed that book. So I definitely know Sarah's writing can kind of hit you out of nowhere. Like the way she develops the characters. So
yeah, loved it. So good.
I love that for you. All right, my last rec is going to be The Princess Bride, which I know I've mentioned before. Again, can't remember what episode, but I'm going to give it to you again. Because
it's been a year.
Yeah, exactly. And this series is like really good. Like I enjoy it. It's fun. It's light. I don't know. It's very cute. Princess Bride by J.J. McAvoy. I think there are 2 or 3 books in this series. It follows Galahad. When I tell you, I hated the names that.
Okay, now I remember you recommending this.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I said this. Yeah, Galahad, Gale, Estrovia, and Odette Wintour. Their names could not be any. I just don't love it. But anyway, Gale and Odette. Galahad is surprisingly, he's like a prince about to become a king, but they're broke. The royal family is broke. And so they look at America and they're like, who can we partner with? And that's where Odette's family comes in. She's an American heiress. I think her family owns hotels. That might be a lie. Maybe. Anyway, her family has lots and lots of money. And so the two families come together and this is a deal. We're going to bring wealth and relationships and our kids have to get married. These two are definitely of the mind that, are y'all kidding us? This is the modern times. No one's doing this. We're not going to just marry for money. That's so weird. Of course, they still do it. And they're both convinced that they're not because there are stakes, right? Gale wants to take care of his country. He wants to make sure everybody's good. He needs to stay in power to do that. He needs the money. So he's trying to do that. He's very duty bound, like duty before everything, which can cause some trouble. And then Odette, she cannot get her money until she marries. So it's very Declan, but reversed. Wow. So really, Odette's the money. And she's a Black girl. So we love to see it.
But she still has to get married.
But I know, isn't that unfortunate? She can't even get her money. She has money, but technically she doesn't because the inheritance needs to be released, So they have to get married and they basically try to figure out how to like each other. And it starts off with them really, their like attraction to each other is there, but they're navigating being from 2 different countries, similar lifestyles as far as like pomp and circumstance and paparazzi and all that. But now they're having to figure each other out. And it's just, honestly, sometimes it's really heartwarming to see some of the things that happen. There's like, drama too, and I don't know, there's just a lot that happens in it, but it is such a fun read, and I feel like definitely worth mentioning, especially when the money starts to come into play and they start doing things like she runs off to Estrovia. Is that the name of the country? I can't actually remember the name of the country
Reminds me
that
of Genovia, like Princess Diaries.
Yes. And I'm maybe that's not the pronunciation of it, but I think I say it that way because of Princess
Probably.
Diaries. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a quick, fun read. Well, not quick because there are multiple books. But I'm not
Psych.
gonna lie to you. Yes, like it is fun. The characters are hilarious. Watching them do things for each other, with each other, and try to pretend to be like a normal couple in public is very awkward and so fun to read up until they like get it together. Like when they're pretty much into each other, cannot be without each other. There's a couple missteps. And I want to say that this takes place in Seattle.
Oh.
I feel
like
she's in Seattle. Hold on. I'm sorry. Please hold because I actually do have to look this up. Boy, Odette Wintour in. I remember seeing where he comes to her house. Man, I think this might be too okay. Yes, here it is. Prince Gale is sent to Seattle. So that was also something that I found really cool while I was reading it because there are places that they went that reminds me of obviously living here in Seattle. So yeah, that was really fun to read too.
Nice.
That's another plus I would say. Whenever a story takes place in somewhere I know, I'm like more excited to read it. So especially if it's so like off the cuff Seattle. Not a lot of people write about Seattle, and I feel like more people should. But when they do, I like reading
it's always Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah.
Come on,
You've Got Mail. Is You've Got Mail Seattle too? Yeah. We need the Prince. I need this
Give me
story.
something set in like Fremont.
Right.
I mean, it's obviously going to be a queer romance.
Hey, you give me something
obviously.
Set in Fremont. Oh my god. I hate it.
Fine, Ballard. Fine.
I was just about to say Ballard, not the Ballard Farmers Market. I heard
so good. It's so good. It's huge now.
Yeah.
Hey, PNW, come on down. But you know what else is great? Sorry, do you know what else is great around here? What? At the end of July, there's this really awesome book meetup in Renton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, July. I think 27th. It's the last Sunday in July. Yeah. And you can get all that information on our socials soon. Okay.
Soon.
Hosted by some really amazing people.
Just say so ourselves.
They're so fun. Last year was a blast. It's the second annual.
Yeah, we're going to give you what you need. You're looking for romance in Seattle or Seattle adjacent? Look no further than right here. We've got your back.
Fictional romance there. Yeah. But like best girlfriend romance. Because let's be honest, that's way more solid. Romance. It is.
Yeah, it's just so dependable.
Your friendships are so... Yeah. So we're here for you.
Yeah.
Come on over.
I love it. We got you covered.
So this is Dev's, favorite. If you have questions, comments, you want to chat about Billionaire Romance, you just, even after listening to this, you have questions, reach out to Dev, not me. She's here for you.
I love it. Give me all the Billionaire Romance recs. Give me the ones that eat down, that you could not put down because the men were saps.
Because also, in this economy,
billionaires.
In this political climate, I mean, I'm going to read a Billionaire Romance. Hostile government takeover. So we just want to go to a place where billionaires aren't the scum of the earth.
Place.
So thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us really ramble, especially here at the end, about Billionaire Romance. If you're looking for more recs, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads at Romance Recs Pod. You can also find our Discord through our links on Instagram and Threads. You can find our favorite book recs from our favorite episodes, as well as behind the scenes content. Again, that's at Romance Recs Pod. So make sure to give us a follow, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode.
Yeah, and also please remember that if you're listening, you're probably not a billionaire, and today's probably the last day for you to file your taxes. Okay, babes, I love you. Stay smart. Bye.
Bye.